Tense moments in the streets lead to questions of what will happen next with Occupy Portland.
Hundreds of Occupy protesters left downtown, started marching through traffic just east of the river. We have live team coverage of the march that spilled out of downtown and how police responded.
Let's start with Anita Kasey, who's been following the protesters all afternoon. And Anita, what are they doing right now?
Well, Steve, the rain right now actually has folks hunkered down for the night, but a lot of these campers marched around Portland's core today, stopping traffic. The point of this march, though, was a little bit different. It was part of a nationwide effort to stop what they consider to be police violence. The threat of rain didn't deter thousands of protesters.
This is our country. We're not standing for it anymore. You know, we haven't had a voice. We haven't been heard in this discussion, and so we're reduced to having to go in the streets to be heard. It's too bad, but that's what we have to do.
The goal of this Occupy Portland march, not just economic, and the crowd, not just the usual, mixed in veterans. This march also to support the Marine hit in the head by a police tear gas canister during another Occupy rally.
What happened to Scott Olson and the people in Oakland were not what I served to see happen.
You can't miss the irony. The guy goes 2 tours in Iraq, never gets wounded, comes back, gets shot in the head by the pigs. You know, we got to support each other. You know, we got, when the authorities come down in one place, everybody needs to, close ranks in the other places where the occupations are going on, and show that, that we have their backs.
This march had no permit and no pre-planned route and blocked rush hour traffic. And this time, not just around downtown, protesters crossed the Hawthorne Bridge to the east side. They also marched down Grand under heavy police escort and threats. 2 hours and heavy rain later, marchers finally headed over Burnside, ending up back at what's considered their home base. Organizers also say this march was to prove that this movement has staying power. They say their marches are getting bigger, more frequent, and in more places. Live in downtown Portland, Anita Kasey, K2 News.
Anita, thank you very much. An unplanned route and really the first big, bold move by Occupy Portland protesters.
K2's Megan Cockstein continues our team coverage downtown. And Megan, how were protesters able to pull this off without police stopping them?
Police tell me that they make these decisions on a case-by-case situation. Even though the protesters did not have permits to do this tonight, officers say that they have to weigh their rights to free speech against a potential battle with up to 300 people over the streets. A heated situation at the end of the march in front of the Justice Center. But as protesters took over Portland streets and circled back across the Burnside Bridge, there were other tense moments.
It got to the point where he literally picked up his bicycle and threw it at me, where it did hit me, and there is footage of it.
Where did it hit you?
It hit my side, my arm, and the side of my body.
Police say they haven't heard of any aggressive enforcement, but with extra reinforcement, they did block streets and monitor the situation by bicycle. How are they even allowed to take over the streets of Portland without a permit?
Well, in Portland, there's a long history of freedom of speech, and as much as we would rather have them on the sidewalk just for their own safety, there comes a time where you look and say, is it worthwhile or is it even appropriate to make arrests just for being in the street?
Before the march, Mayor Sam Adams says without a permit and a route, they do the best they can.
It is free speech, and people are allowed to express their free speech. Local governments are allowed to put time, place, and we call manner, sort of restrictions on that so that we can manage everything.
Is there a point where you guys step in and say enough is enough?
There are times that those decisions are made. Usually they're made at by the mayor's office, by the chief's office. Generally, we want to weigh a balance of risk versus rewards. Sometimes it's just not worth having a big fight with a bunch of people that all they want to do is march in the street. And we want to take and allow them to have their free speech routes.
We heard back from Mayor Adams' spokesperson actually within the last hour. She said that the mayor was in touch with the commander throughout the entire march tonight. Mayor Adams also said that he is happy with how police handled the situation, but he wishes that protesters had a permit. Police tell me that one person was arrested tonight. They say because a protester actually pushed a sergeant into a bus. We're live in downtown Portland. Megan Cockstein, K2 News.